What's going on, guys? Power GPU back again with the new video. Today I'm going to be doing an overview of my new 2015 build and my new display that I bought, the new LG Ultra Wide that does a resolution of 3440 by 1440. Cue the intro. Alright guys, so I just want to go quickly and explain to you why this year I decided to go with Nvidia instead of AMD. Usually what I do is look at the high-end cards, and you know me, I've always gone both ways for the past long time, a lot of years. And this year I was actually debating between the Fury X and Crossfire X or two GTX 90 Ti's. Well, I did order a 90 Ti day of release. I did a few benchmarks for you guys, and as you can see in my YouTube channel, I did a few videos. I enjoyed the card greatly. It ran beautiful, even from 1080p all the way to 4K resolution, it ran great. Certain games at 4K, of course, had some issues, but it requires a lot of power to run at 4K anyways. And then the AMD Fury X came out. Now, I was looking forward to the Fury X, and don't get me wrong, AMD did a phenomenal job with the Fury X. They did a great job with the card. It performs great. One thing I'm kind of upset about is that the fact that they took a long time for it to come out, and I wouldn't mind the wait if the card destroyed Nvidia. And I'm not saying 50% destroy. I'm referring to 10 to 15%, which that would be enough for me to buy an AMD card. And the other reason too is I went with the 90 Ti is I really wanted to play Batman Arkham Knight and run everything at max settings with GameWorks and everything like that. And of course that was a pretty big flop. Now I'm still running it at 3440 by 1440 with, FPS is fine. Here and there I might get a crash. It's still frustrating, of course, while you're playing the game. Now, the other reason too I didn't go with the Fury X is I'm not a big fan of cards that come liquid cooled already. A lot of people say, oh, well, the card's tiny and this and that, it's good for micro ATX builds, blah, blah. The card physically, yes, is smaller than your standard, 980 Ti PCB. The PCB on the Fury X is definitely a lot smaller. Now, you take in consideration the liquid cooling with the tubing and everything, it's definitely not smaller. So a lot of cases I'll have issues with, if I were to get it in this case right here, the Phantek Enthoo Pro, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit too, it's an amazing case. I only have a spot here in the back and the two at the top to mount the two radiators. And it wouldn't look clean because then you have all the tubings going to the top, going across the top of the motherboards. So it's not my thing. If I'm going to liquid cool a video card, I will definitely do a custom loop, custom water block and everything. It will look 10 times cleaner, and I'm not a big fan of that little pump too. That pump might go out on you. And of course that pump had a lot of coil whine. I mean, it was noisy. Now they did fix it with the newer products, but the problem is you don't know if you got a new one or an older one. But they did fix that. So that was another reason why I didn't go with the Fury X. Another thing, HBM memory is way ahead of its time. They released it too early. I understand that AMD wanted to go ahead and beat Nvidia to the punch, which they did. But the problem is nowadays, I don't care if it's GDDR5, GDDR3, whatever, HBM, 4 gigs now is just not enough for gaming. Once you cap that 4 gigs, you'll start running into some issues. The frames start, you get some micro stutter here and there. And then of course you can't turn up all the eye candy. You can't turn up physics, you can't turn up, anti-aliasing, a lot of stuff that you would want to run. For example, Grand Theft Auto is a VRAM hog. That game at 1080p with everything maxed out eats up 4.5 gigs of VRAM, which if you see my video, clearly it shows 4.5. So you can imagine at higher resolutions, at 3440 by 1440, or you're looking at 4K resolution, 2160p. I mean, the VRAM is going to be eaten up alive on that. That's the only problem. So that's the reason why I didn't go with the Fury X. All right, everything else with the Fury X is phenomenal. I recommend the card if you want to get it. If you're an AMD guy, it's definitely a great card to get. No, hands down. I'm not saying it's a bad card. It is a great card to get. Now, going back to my machine here. All right, so the reason why I went with the Phantek Enthoo Pro is because a good friend of mine, he's the reviewer for Hardware Canucks. His name is Dimitri49, is his original YouTube channel. He did an overview review on this case, and it got Case of the Year for 2014. It is an older case. It's been out, I think, for about a year now. But it's got amazing features. The funny thing is I wasn't going for a budget build, obviously, as you can see, but all the features I've seen, and I've had many high-end cases, Corsair RM850s, 750Ds. I mean, I've had some higher-end cases before that cost $300 or $400. And the features on this case actually has the same features as those cases, and then more. Which there's a few on the reviews, if you look at them, they go a lot over the reviews, which Dimitri did. He went over the review on this case very thoroughly, very good. One thing I didn't see in a lot of videos is here at the front, you could actually mount another two 120mm fans, which is perfect for the two cards we have there, especially if you have a reference design card, which reference card design cards are the best, just to let you know. And the reason why I say that is because the blower is actually sucking in the air from here and throwing it outside of the case. When you have an aftermarket one with the two fans, the two blades or anything like that, twin throws or anything like that, that thing's just throwing hot air into your machine constantly. That's all it's doing. So that's one of the reasons why I went with the reference design card. The processor I went with was the i7-4790K. It's the ASUS Z97 Maximus Hero 7. And the RAM I went with was the Corsair 8 gigs Dominator Platinum at 1600 megahertz. Now, as far as hard drives, I went with the Samsung A50 Pro. It's a 500 gig SSD. Kingston 250 60 gig SSD as well. It's the Pro series. A 1 terabyte Western Digital black drive and a 500 gig Western Digital black drive as well. That's as far as storage goes. And like I said, I want to get back to the case real quick. So, as far as the features that you've seen on this case, it's $99 for this case. It's unbelievable for $99. Another thing too I'd like to add is on the back here, the fans, you actually put a 120 or 140, and it's adjustable, so you can slide it up and down. So if you want to make room for a radiator up top, you can slide it up and down, which is great. One thing too is power supply I didn't go over with. Power supply, I'm still using the Corsair RM850, which I've used that power supply now for my past 3 builds. And it's a great power supply. 850 watts is more than enough to drive a lot of SLI crossfire setups nowadays, since everything's going more power efficient as far as technology advances and goes forward from there. The other thing too is, so onto the monitor, I was going to wait till I think September. They're releasing new ultra wide monitors that are IPS, that are G-Sync compatible, and 144 Hertz. That's the monitor I really wanted to get. But I just built this machine and I didn't want to wait 3 months to get a monitor. So I just went ahead and jumped on this guy right here, which Newegg, I've purchased everything from Newegg, and they had a great deal. They sent me a coupon. This one sells normally for about $9.89. I got it from Newegg for $7.50 brand new in the box. So it was a great deal. I used to sell it at Tiger Direct when I used to work there, and I enjoyed the monitor. And so far, IPS definitely the way to go. I've always used IPS. I'll never go back to a TN panel. IPS is amazing. I did have a Samsung 4K. I don't remember the model. I think it was like U28 DHD or something like that. It was a 4K TN panel. It looks amazing, the resolution, but I just got used to TN panels. That was the thing, and plus I wanted an ultra wide. So that's why I went with this monitor here, with the LG, which there's other companies that offer AOC. ASUS is coming out in September, like I said, and Acer as well has one coming out in September. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as the setup I have going. Peripherals, I'm not going to go over. I'll be using those for a while. But that's pretty much it. One other thing too I wanted to let you guys know is I'm not as much on YouTube like I used to be, but I will tell you where I'm always hanging out and I'm always talking to subscribers and helping them out and stuff like that. If you go to Facebook, which I'll put the link at the bottom in the description, if you want to look up Furious PC Gaming, that's a group that DJ Whipspeed started a long time ago. I think it's been about 4 years now since I've been on there. And if you guys want any questions answered and like that, we have 4 different groups. We have Furious PC Gaming rigs, we can display all your high-end rigs, you know, show off what you got. We have hardware and support, we have gaming, we have Furious PC Pro console gaming. We have a bunch of groups on there. So, you know, if you're a console gamer, if you're a PC gamer, you know, so on and so forth, we have groups for it. So go on there. I'm an admin on there. If you have any questions or you know, any questions you want me to answer, we're on there. And there's actually a lot of other YouTubers on there. You know, we have Jerry Bird, that's Barnacles. We have Joker Productions, he's on there as well. As I said, DJ Whipspeed. Richard Seros is on there too, he's another guy that does a lot of Nvidia builds for their expos and stuff like that. So we have a lot of good people on there, knowledgeable people that know what they're doing, know what they're talking about. And of course, everyone, as long as you follow the rules, you'll be in there with no problem. We have rules on there, just read them before you go in and start posting stuff, and you know, you'll be fine. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna leave this video here. I'm gonna do some benchmarks for you guys that are on with the 290 Ti's and SLI, running at 3440 by 1440, so you guys can see what this hardware can do. And then hopefully this year we'll have some more tech stuff coming out. I think Intel's coming out with a new processor as well, which would be nice. 4790K is about a year old now, but it's not. It's still fine. But I'll leave it there. Alright guys, Power GPU signing out. Hope you guys have a great day. See you guys later.